I'm Julia.
I'm Denise.
And today we're going to be analysing Lentor Central Residences, the latest development to enter the Lentor Collection.
Yes, and the second harmonized project in the entire Lentor itself.
Oh yes, the first one was actually Lentor Mansion, and that was the fifth plot that was introduced to the whole Lentor Collection.
That's right.
And there are actually very big differences between Lentor Mansion and Lentor Central Residences, which I'm very excited to show you all today.
Okay, let's go. Okay, so in today's agenda, we'll be talking a bit about the Lentor Collection, and then we'll show you who are the buyers of the Lentor projects itself. Also, we will go through the Lentor Collection and comparison itself, as well as Lentor Central Residences. Is it worth buying? And we also have a bonus segment, so stay on, stay tuned. We will also dive deep into whether is it too late to buy into Lentor still. So here's a bit of a history lesson. We're going to talk a bit about how the Lentor area started forming up. Maybe Jubs, you can tell us how they actually start out. I'm kind of curious, when they actually start out and all.
So you can see here on this entire plot of land is what we call the Lentor Collection. It first started off with the first plot, which was Lentor Modern. It was launched in 2022, and this is an integrated development. So integrated development, it means that there's an element of a transportation link to the development itself. And for this, it will be the residence portion, then the mall, then the MRT.
So basically MRT below, because this whole line is fully underground. Then there will be a mall, and then there will be residences on top of it. So this is the very first project that actually hit the Lentor area in 2022.
And this project sold really well on launch day. If I'm not wrong, it was like 97% sold on launch day, right?
Wow, okay, and that was just like 2-3 years back. So it was close to like fully sold actually.
Okay, after Lentor Modern was launched, the next development was Lentor Hills Residences.
Lentor Hills Residences.
Lentor Hills Residences is in the 1 km range to St. Nicholas Girls' School, and that was the main selling point of the development. After Lentor Hills Residences, it was Hillock Green. Hillock Green is located directly across Lentor Modern, which is across from the MRT and the mall. So you just need to cross one road to get to the integrated development and the shopping mall.
And then next we have Lentoria, which launched last year, and then after just 1 week later, it was Lentor Mansion. And these two condos are actually within 1 km to St. Nicholas Girls' School.
And Lentor Mansion was the first plot in the 5 plots, which follows the harmonized scheme. So for the harmonized scheme, the key differences for consumers such as yourself is that the aircon ledge is not included. And of course, the developers are no longer able to charge for the void space.
So very little void space such as high ceiling or loft and all that. And also the bay window as well as aircon ledges, they are no longer part of your strata area.
So in terms of comparing between the non-harmonized and the harmonized development, we're looking at about 5 to 8% variation in the per square foot size. So take for example, if a harmonized development is 1,000 square feet, you're looking at something which is 1080 square feet in a non-harmonized project.
And this year, we're actually launching Lentor Central Residences, and after which there will be actually 4 more plots of land.
One plot here, another plot here, another plot here, and another plot here.
That's right. That's a lot. That's a lot.
So that brings us to the next question.
Who's buying Lentor?
For Lentor, there are already 5 plots which have been released and put up for sale to buyers such as yourself.
So if we zoom down and take a look at, let's say, Hillock Green, most of the buyers are actually coming from District 19, District 20, District 23, as well as 25 and 27. So these are all the areas and classes where there are a lot of new HDBs and ECs that actually MOP. And let's see if that repeats in other developments as well.
This is for Lentor Hills Residences. Most of the buyers come from District 19, District 20, District 25, 26, and 27.
And when we look at Lentor Modern, the one with the integrated mall, same thing, we notice the same trend as well. They all come from District 19, 20, 26, and 27.
Yes. Just so you know where the different districts are, because for us as realtors, we classify the different areas into Singapore as districts. But for you, you may not know what district it is. So for District 19, it will be your
Punggol,
Serangoon,
Sengkang, Hougang, and all that.
District 20 will be Ang Mo Kio, Bishan, Thomson. District 25, 26 will be your Yishun, Sembawang, and your Lentor area.
So essentially, as you know, these areas have a lot of new HDBs and HDB upgraders. A lot of them are selling to put their families into the Lentor area itself. So it's a really new township that the government has actually carved out.
So between the two of us, we have closed a total of 5 developments in the whole Lentor collection.
Yeah, let's talk about the buyers who had actually bought. Okay, this is important because I feel that, when you're watching this video, you also want to know what kind of people are actually buying into Lentor itself. So let us show you IRL, who are these buyers and why did they actually choose Lentor and why did we propose Lentor to them?
For one of my buyers bought Lentor Modern, and in terms of the buyer profile, they have been staying in Lentor for most of their lives. So when Lentor Modern was launching, they were super excited about it, and they decided to buy into a 3-bedroom which overlooks the whole landed area, and the view will be permanently unblocked and the view will be extremely stunning. So one of the strong factors which drove them to put down a check and eventually purchase the unit was that it was a development. When you go out, you don't need to bring umbrella, it's sheltered all the way, and it's connected to the Thomson East Coast Line, which is the Lentor MRT station.
Basically, just take MRT right down to the MRT station from your house. So actually staying in an integrated development might not be a bad idea.
No need to wear sunblock also because you'll be sheltered all the way. But you need to take vitamin D pills because you got no access to sunlight.
Okay, I think that was also the first development to hit 2,000 PSF in the whole of Lentor itself. So what did your buyers actually think about it? I mean, buying into a project, did they feel it was worth it?
Back then, when Lentor Modern hit the market, there were many objections. First was that, wow, it is not within the 1 km range to any good schools. It's also the first ever integrated development in this area. The nearest integrated development would have been North Park Residences, which sits on top of North Point. Back then, North Park Residences was already transacting at about 1,600-1,700 PSF, and that was in the Yishun area. So for Lentor, most people would classify it as Yio Chu Kang, Ang Mo Kio area. So it's actually a little bit closer to town, a little bit closer to your more popular schools. So there's a little bit more of an allure to move towards here. So Denise, your client actually bought Lentor Hills 2-bed 2-bath, right?
So actually he's a single guy. He actually stays in Bishan itself. So of course to him this area wasn't very foreign. He actually knows this area pretty well and he wanted somewhere where there was going to be good capital gains and appreciation. So he bought a 2-bed 2-bath in this project. And then next I met another young couple. This young couple, they didn't want to wait so long for a BTO. So I actually proposed for Hillock Green and they end up selecting a 2-bed 1-bath in the project itself. It's certainly very undervalued because later I'll be sharing the price trend in the project itself.
So for your Hillock Green, where did your buyer come from? Which district did they come from?
Actually, right, they stay in Choa Chu Kang. So it's very far away and they were inquiring about a condo that I had in Clementi. But after doing some analysis, they realized that buying a project from developer itself is still much better for them, more advantageous because of the progressive payment scheme. They didn't need to fork out so much in terms of interest and all that instead of getting something that was already built.
Nice.
Therefore, it made sense for them to buy something that will still be UC and still building ready in maybe another year or two.
For my buyers, they came from District 19. We sold off their HDB 4-room flat, and fortunately for them, they do have alternative accommodations, and they were looking for a place that they can upgrade to or potentially rent out for good rental income in the future. So I recommended Lentoria to them for a few reasons. The first reason is that it's in the 1 km range to St. Nicholas. Okay. The next is that it is located in a new township. And later on in this video, we'll share with you what some other areas in Singapore have also gone through in terms of their transformation and in terms of building a new township. And we'll also share with you the profitability and how the development actually performed in the resale market for you to make the decision whether or not is it worth it or is it too risky to buy into a new township. So for them, it was pretty much a no-brainer, near to MRT, 1 km to good school. Even though they didn't need to be in the 1 km range to a good school, it helps them for their future exit strategy.
It definitely does because they can probably sell to parents who want to get their child into the school or already gotten in. They want to stay closer to the school itself so that you don't have to spend so much time shuttling them in the morning, right?
Yes. And in terms of their entry price, they actually entered at a price lower than an existing resale development 2-bed 2-bath that is within the 1 km range to St. Nicholas. So for
that's
them,
amazing.
It was really safe, a very, very safe entry.
Okay, and for the final client, they actually bought a 4-bedder at Lentor Mansion last year. So after looking through their finances, I actually proposed for them to actually decouple their EC in Sengkang. And thereafter, using one name, they actually bought this project itself. And they chose a very good layout, a very good size project that is suitable for their family's needs. And I still remember my client even told me when he booked, he was like, I can imagine staying here very long term. You know, jogging, going down the green thumb. And if you actually go down to Lentor on a weekday, you notice people walking their dogs, jogging and all that. It's actually a very chill area. And a lot of people who stay there, they actually love it there because it's really a quiet landed enclave. You used to stay in Lentor, right, I think?
Yes, I actually grew up in Lentor. I used to stay in Bullion Park, and the whole entire area is filled with greenery. And what's going to be different between now and in the future is that the government will be dedicating resources to build what is going to be called Hillock Park. So they're going to be building this entire huge park where all the residents in the Lentor area can go and enjoy.
All right, so now we move on.
So why did we propose Lentor?
Okay, so very simple. I mean, personally for myself, as you know, Jubs is actually a Lentor girl. For me, I'm a Jurong gal, but eventually I chose to buy a place that is 2 stops from Lentor itself in Upper Thomson. Why? It's simply because of the connectivity of the new Thomson East Coast line. You know, you're just 9 stops to Orchard itself. It cuts across the entire Singapore and it cuts across all the major highways itself. And think about it, the connectivity with the MRT is just really easy to get to town, to get to wherever that I actually want to get to. And of course, I'm most excited by the North-South corridor. So this North-South corridor will be a game changer because essentially now if you want to go from Woodlands all the way to town, you'd probably take 40-45 minutes. But with this, you have part of it that's above ground that serves like buses and all. And then the cars and all travel underground. So it's going to be another underground highway, something similar to KP itself.
You'll be able to save around 10 to 15 minutes in terms of your travel time on the road. So if you're taking public transport or even if you're driving, traveling down from say Yishun, Lentor area down to town areas, you'll be able to cut down your traveling time by 10 to 15 minutes, and that's huge.
That's huge. I mean, 2 ways is like half an hour already.
You can sleep more in the morning.
Yeah. So if you're traveling to work and all that, you can cut down the traveling time. And not only that, one thing is that the on-top pavement will be parks and all that. So if you go to Ang Mo Kio now, you'll notice there's a lot of construction because they're actually constructing all the tunnels to go into the North-South highway. Okay, so this brings me up to KP as I mentioned earlier. Another reason why I actually proposed the Lentor area and why I also bought into this whole Lentor plan also is really because of what happened previously. If we actually studied previously, we noticed the Northeast line and the KP. This was something that the government had actually came up with many years ago, maybe 15, 20
And
years
this was
ago.
super exciting when it was first launched. Everyone in the Serangoon area, Potong Pasir area was so excited.
Yep. So if you remember the Northeast Line and KP, they came out about the same time. KP will serve people who are staying in the Northeast region to Punggol, Sengkang and all. And this line will run from Harbourfront, cutting through CBD and going up all the way to Punggol and Sengkang. So let's see what happens to the condos that are on this line. For example, we have 8 at Woodleigh, which is at the Woodleigh MRT station. As you know, Woodleigh used to be a cemetery. Nobody wanted to stay there. And thereafter, once the government started selling land, reclaiming it, building BTOs, suddenly it became the hottest BTO and now it's $1 million estate. Yes, and look at the condo.
Everybody wants to stay there now.
Everybody wants to stay in Bidadari. There's a lake, there's a mall, there's MRT at your doorstep. And just look at the condo that's situated maybe a couple of minutes walk from the MRT itself. Every time there was an announcement, the price kept going up and up and up. Yeah, so when you're online and you're served by many different estates that turn $1 million, just think about it. People who have already made this money, when they want to upgrade, where do they want to move to?
Actually, I do have quite a number of HDB BTO owners who achieve MOP approach me to tell me that they're looking to upgrade. I have one that actually upgrade to the next door private condo. So I had a client who stayed in Keat Hong and then they upgraded and they moved next door, literally next door from
to the next condo.
Yes,
okay.
to Soul Acres. And actually from their yard, they're able to look into Soul Acres. So they were laughing and joking with me that like it's really not much of a difference in terms of going home. The only thing is that now they do have pool and facilities, and of course they elevated their overall net worth.
Yeah,
but
of
that's
course.
good.
That's important, right?
Yeah.
That's how you grow your assets
Correct.
strategically. And this is another reason why I chose to buy along TEL myself and I proposed Lentor to my clients. If you actually look at the land plots along the Thomson East Coast line, you'll notice that there's a lot that actually starts from even the Woodlands side. You'll notice in the master plan that there are a lot subject to detailed planning. Likewise here, a lot subject to detailed planning.
So these colours actually, they signify future residential plots, right?
Yes, so orange signify residential plots. We don't know, is it HDB, is it going to be a condo? But generally it will always be maybe be a mix. For example, if we look at Mount Pleasant, they already announced it'll be 5,000 new homes, private as well as HDB. And this is actually a very prime area because it's just minutes to Novena. And then you look at Caldecott, there's this huge plot as well. Even in Bright Hill also.
Which is in the Thomson area.
Yeah, so this is just the start. In fact, if you realize, right, 8 out of 14 government land sales are along the Thomson East Coast line as well.
That's super exciting.
Yeah.
So if you're one that really knows how to study the master plan, you know where the government is looking to push more people. And if you know about it, you'll be able to get in early before everyone else discovers it.
Yes, so if you take a look at it, all the condos that are launching, for example, Havelock Road, there's probably 3 or 4 plots, okay? Springleaf, there's 2 that's coming up. Then there's OMG at Marina South. So these are the land plots that the government are going to start launching because they want people to utilize this line. Like, hey guys, utilize this line for your work and play and all.
Actually, currently, I do have clients who are staying along the TEL line. It's an extremely underutilized line. In the morning, when you go in, there's space for you to sit down. Of course, in time to come, there will be a lot more people who will be utilizing this line. But if you're able to be the first mover, you can watch one of our videos on the first mover advantage, and you are able to be a first mover along this TEL line, it will prove to be very beneficial for you.
Yep, so always buy something where there's an upcoming line or look at the government directives and initiatives. If they're pushing everyone to this line, you know that it's going to be a line where a lot more people are going to stay, a lot more in demand and also supply.
Anyway, even if you're not the kind that will bother to study this, don't worry because we've done the homework so you don't have to. So scan the QR code above to start a conversation with us today.
Yep. We don't profess to be Lentor specialists, but we have done enough homework to actually close 5 of our clients in Lentor. And we also believe in Lentor itself because I bought something that's 2 stations away from Lentor because I truly believe in this MRT line and the growth in this area as well. And one more thing is also the Lentor master plan. There's going to be a lot of changes. As you can see in Springleaf, previously in 2008 was just subject to detailed planning, and later on it's been carved out to residential areas. So still following up on what we said, we feel that this is a township that the government is trying to grow because they're trying to push a lot more residences, a lot more people to stay up north. So you have the Punggol Digital District, the Woodlands Regional Centre, and everything that's actually clustering up in the north.
So you can see that townships like this, they don't happen overnight. They happen over 5, 10, 15 years.
20 years even to plan, yeah.
Last time when you want to say, I'm going to stay in Punggol, a lot of people ask you, so far away, are you sure you want to stay there? Look at today.
Yeah, all my clients love it. They love staying there.
Yeah.
They feel it's very kid-friendly. Also,
Correct.
likelihood is that Lentor will be just one of it. It's actually the start of it, honestly.
And what's really interesting about Lentor is that if you were to tell people that you stay in Lentor, no one will think that you're staying in a HDB. The automatic assumption is that you're staying in a landed or a private condo development.
Because that's what is there, lor.
So Lentor doesn't really have HDBs. But many people from the surrounding HDBs around the different districts in Singapore, 19, 20, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28,
They all move there. Huh.
they all will move here because it's the closest that you can get to their good schools, whereas not too far away from where you originally started from.
Yeah, 9 stops to Orchard. Okay, if you have liked our content so far and like what we analyze about Lentor, do like and subscribe so it helps us to actually reach out to other people. We noticed that a lot of you guys haven't actually been subscribing or liking, so please help us. Okay?
Yes, help us to press the like and subscribe button for more of such videos so that our YouTube algorithm can help us to push out to people who may find this useful as well.
Yeah, thank you.
So we're back and we're looking at the Lentor Collection. So we have a whole new township over here. So what's really exciting is we have all these 4 little baby icons here. Denise, do you know what these baby icons mean?
All these baby icons actually just mean early childhood development centers. So I used to stay in a condo where there was actually an early childhood development center below. So it's like a childcare. So just imagine you stay in a condo and then you can send your kid down, and then in the afternoon when you're at work, your helper can take your kid back up.
No need to cross the road.
Yeah.
No need to take bus to pick someone up. Your kid is just there. Someone can just go down and pick your kid. Or if you're working from home, even better, just go downstairs, pick your kid up and come back home. So in Lentor Modern, we don't have a childcare center in the condo portion itself, but below it in the shopping mall portion, we do have childcare center as well as tuition centers as well. So it's really a one-stop shop. After school, when your kid comes home, immediately go for tuition, then take the lift to go back up.
Yep.
Then in Lentor Hills Residences, we do have a childcare centre situated on level 1. At Lentor Mansion, there's also a childcare centre situated on level 1. And for the upcoming Lentor Central Residences, also childcare centre situated on level 1. So what's the benefit of having a childcare centre in the development itself?
Okay, firstly, why is the government having so many childcare centres? 4 out of 6 condos. Why do they want to have so many childcare centres?
I think it's very clear that this entire township here is made for young families. It's either you're starting your journey as a couple or you already have a kid and you're looking to spend many years here.
Yep. So essentially with this childcare centre, I think it facilitates families to, they know that, okay, nearby, I can actually put my child with them. And I don't feel so stressed and all that because it's just right downstairs. I used to stay in a development that actually had a childcare and I saw neighbours actually putting their kid downstairs and then just heading back up. It's just a 5-minute thing and then later on picking their kid. So it's really, really convenient. And you're right opposite the MRT. So essentially the government wants to try to make it easy for young parents to also have children. Not just one child, two child, but bigger family.
You basically have the support that you need. You don't have to travel too far for it. I used to stay in Lentor and the condo that I was staying in was Bullion Park. Within the development itself, we also did have a preschool and a childcare centre, and I think it used to be called Apple Tree. I didn't attend it, but my sister did. And her classmates came from within the condo itself, as well as the landed enclave which was surrounding our development in Lentor.
So it shows that everyone who stays there, they'll send their children around here. Yeah, so it's really convenient also for people who work around Tagore side as well, right?
Yes. So if you're working around Tagore side, all you need to do is when you're travelling down Yio Chu Kang Road here, is just to turn in and drop your kid, because all these childcare centres, while they are situated at the condo itself, it is open to public. So there will be a residence entrance and there will also be a public entrance. So residents of these developments don't have to worry about having strangers enter your development and walking the grounds, because the drop-off and pick-up point will be separate from the residence one.
Yep. Now, basically, when we talk about Lentor Collection, every time people talk about Lentor, they'll be like, so many condos, will there be an oversupply?
Including Lentor Central Residences, we have a total of
2,954 units, including Lentor Central 477.
That's a lot, right?
That's a lot for an area itself. So can this place actually sustain that many people?
There's a development in Singapore, Treasures at Tampines. It's also over 2,000 units, right?
Yeah, I just saw a 4-bedder there. Yeah, 2,200 plus units.
Was it difficult to sell off the 4-bedder?
No, I sold it in about a month, and that project is actually one of the highly searched and sought after in Property Guru. You check their statistics, right? A lot of people are searching for Treasure at Tampines for rent or sale. Surprising, yeah.
So when we add all of these up together, we have about 2,477 units. Including Lentor Central, we have 2,954. In these 2,477 units, we do have some developments which are already sold out, right, Denise?
So out of these 2,400 plus units, Jubs, you want to guess how many are still remaining? Just to give you an idea, for Treasures at Tampines, 2,000 plus units, there's about 195 for sale right now, 10%.
Unsurprisingly, in the Lentor region, there's been a lot of demand and a lot of the units get snapped up on launch day. So I wouldn't be too surprised if there weren't many units left.
We actually found out there's only 173 units left amongst these 5 developments, which means that the take-up rate is very high here. It's about 93% amongst all these 5 projects that have launched.
93% of the existing stock of Lentor units have already been sold. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's a lot for just 2-3 years only.
But before we go into analysing Lentor Central Residences, let's take a look at the breakdown of the unit types within the Lentor Collection itself. So this is the breakdown of the different unit types within the different developments in the Lentor Collection. So we have Lentor Modern. Lentor Modern has 1 bedroom, 2 bed, 1 bath, 2 plus study, 3 bedroom, 3 bedroom premium, and 4 bedroom. So you can see the different breakdown here.
So guys, if you want to know more about which project has what, just pause here and take a screenshot. I have a question for you, Jubs. What is these figures in XXX are excluding AC ledgers?
Okay, so just now when we mentioned Lentor Modern, Lentor Hills Residences, and Hillock Green, as well as Lentoria, they come from the non-harmonized GFA. Whereas for Lentor Mansion, it will be harmonized. So the difference between harmonized and non-harmonized, just a very simplistic way of looking at things is for the non-harmonized, it's about 5 to 8% smaller once we take out the aircon ledge and strata areas. So for Lentor Mansion, it's from the harmonized scheme. Lentor Central Residences is also the harmonized scheme. So what we've done here is that we have put in brackets what the estimated square foot will be like if it were harmonized. That means we take away the aircon ledge. What is the estimated size of usable space within the unit? So take for example, Lentor Modern, 527 square feet. If it's harmonized, we are looking at around 506 square feet. For Lentoria, for the 3-bedroom, if it's at 915 square feet, we're looking at about 861 if it's harmonized. So if we're comparing sort of like an apple to apple, 3-bedroom 861 versus Lentor Mansion 786. This is how you compare between a harmonized unit and a non-harmonized.
And for those that are blanks, it just means that the developer did actually build those layout types. So like Lentor mentioned, there's actually no one bedder, but they actually start from a 2-bed, 1-bath.
Lentor Mansion is also the only development in the whole Lentor collection with 5 bedrooms.
Okay, let's move on. Now let's take a look at the site plan of this project. So what do you actually notice when you look at the site plan?
There are so many swimming pools.
Yeah, why do you need so many swimming pools? And they even have tennis court leh.
Lentor Central Residences is the first development with the most number of swimming pools. It's also the tallest development in the whole Lentor collection as of today.
Okay, now let's go on to the details about the project itself. And what I like about these two blocks, right, is that they are not overlapping each other. So I don't look into my neighbour directly. I actually might have an unblocked view of Teachers Estate or either that Hillock Park itself.
So you do have very good views in Lentor Central Residences. It's either Hillock Park or Teachers Estate, which is
Also
freehold landed
landed.
enclave.
Now let's go on to the fact sheet about this project. And what I noticed that I felt really attracted to was the number of car park lots.
We have a total of 477 units and how many car park lots?
484. Usually for projects that's next to MRT, they'll actually give a haircut. I was just doing analysis for Orel. They also only have 80% lots for a 600 plus condo unit EC. But this is a condo right next to MRT and they give full car park lots facility. So essentially,
They actually give more than the number of units.
that's right. So they are really targeting people who are planning for own stay. I mean, think about it. 80 to 90% of condo owners actually have a car. You park your car at home, you take MRT to work to save on transport, and on weekend you get to use your car. So that's a win-win situation, right? And you have a space to actually park your car. You have that provision for it.
Actually, I do have quite a number of clients who used to stay city fringe, stay near the city or even far away from the city, but near to MRT. What they do is they don't drive to work, they take the train. But when they have to pick their kids up from preschool or primary school or secondary school, they will use the car to pick them up.
Yeah, so it's very convenient when you have a condo that has ample lots.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, now let's take a look at the floor plans itself. Firstly, we'll touch on the 1-bedroom floor plans. Hey, Jubs, tell me, what do you notice about the floor plans here?
Okay, so what we have done is we have done a table here for you to see what are the available stock as of February 2025 and each development, what they offer. Okay, so Lentor Modern's 1-bedroom is fully sold. In Lentor Hills, Hillock Green and Lentoria, we still have a 1-bedroom available. And in Lentor Central, the smallest 1-bedroom will start at 463 square feet.
So it's got a pretty good size. Once you enter, it's the typical kind of open concept kitchen, living, dining. I think pretty decent for like people who want to buy to maybe stay, maybe as a single, or either for an investor who want to rent out. And don't forget for Hillock Green, the last unit is already 1.5 plus. And back to just now, remember I mentioned I proposed my client to buy a 2-bed, 1-bath. They bought at 1.2 something. So even now if they sell at 1.5, they don't even need to sell 1.7 or whatever. They sell at 1.5, they can easily make about 2 to 300k already because the last unit of 1-bedder is selling at about 1.5.
So for Lentor Central Residences, it does come with a 1+ study. However, it is an extremely rare layout within the development itself because the 1+ study is only found on the ground floor. So if you're keen to look at this layout, do scan the QR code above and reach out to us and we'll be happy to share more with you.
Okay, next let's take a look at the 2-bedroom.
With so many units in the Lentor collection, the biggest question is how can your unit stand out in the resale market? Firstly, the issue that many buyers have when deciding in a new township is which development to choose, which unit type to go for, and when it hits the resale market is how to exit.
Yeah, how to exit.
Many of you may be buying for own stay or you may be buying for investment, but the exit strategy remains the same.
Okay, so here's a few factors that we feel might be important for you. Mainly price, size, view, layout, and facing. Okay, this is what people search for. But if you realize in the parameters for Property Guru, right, you can only search based on size, PSF, and number of bedrooms. So most people will probably key in like 2-bedroom first, then they'll start sorting. So that's why my strategy for my clients, why I propose a 2-bed 1-bath instead of a 1-bedder, was simply because they're a couple, they might want to stay, they might have family planning needs, so that's why a 2-bed may suit them more. And number 2 is that when people search, they either search by pricing in terms of quanta or they search by size. Nobody will know whether it's unblocked view or not until they come. So the factors that they can search for is mainly just pricing as well as sizing. So that's why, at least for my side, I went for quantum play to get my clients the best affordable unit so that when they want to exit in future, they still have that room for capital gains.
So in the resale market, what many buyers will do is they'll go onto the listing portals, they will put in their budget. Usually it will be a maximum, right? The next thing that they will do is they will input how many bedrooms they want, how many bathrooms they want. And then of course they will do a minimum floor size. So when you're house hunting, you will put like your minimum house
700
size.
square feet or something.
So when you're trying to exit and when you want to have more people to view your unit, they will be searching based on this. They will be searching on its price, then the size, and very rarely you'll be able to sort your search results based on the view, facing, or layout because these are not part of the search parameters which are in the listing portals. Of course, it will be very helpful if you have an agent who really understands the area that you're looking to purchase. Then they can properly advise you which development has which type of layout and which one will be the most suitable for you. But if you are looking to buy something for investment, and it's very important to be able to catch your future buyers based on the search parameters that they input into the listing portals. So, Denise, what is your strategy for your buyers for your 2-bedroom? Because there's going to be like 700 plus units. How can they stand out?
Okay, in fact, 2 of my clients that bought 2-bedroom, the 2-bed 2-bath, as well as the 2-bed 1-bath, they bought ground floor. Why I proposed ground floor was because it was cheaper than the second and third floor, number 1. And number 2, I felt that it is still something that would attract people to buy and they still have that capital gains when they want to exit in future. Like I mentioned earlier, the last unit at Hillock Green for 1-bedder is selling at 1.5. But my clients entered the 2-bed 1-bath at 1.276. So this gives them a huge buffer room when they want to sell in future. So for me, I go by quantum play. Because at the end of the day, when I sold my Florence Residences 2-bed, the ground floor unit had the same or more profit than me when I'm on the mid-floor. So in the end, I realized that ground floor is something that attracts a lot of people. It has certain unique attributes as well.
Actually, I really love ground floor units because it's suitable for people who love landed living. You don't want to wait. You don't want to wait for the lift. You got dual access into the unit. Although not all condos have dual access. There are some like Kingsford Water Bay where the ground floor unit doesn't. Some of the ground floor units don't have that dual access in from the balcony. You mentioned that you managed to secure a ground floor unit for your clients at the lowest entry price in the whole development.
Yes.
That's really surprising because in Lentor Modern, the ground floor units were actually priced higher than the level 2 units. Lentoria, ground floor units also were priced higher than the level 2 and 3 units. So for your clients to be able to exit in the future, because these other developments, ground floor units are already priced higher than the level 2, level 3, your clients actually found a gem.
That's why you need to work with an agent that knows the Lentor area well. We have actually studied all these 5 projects, so we know the pros and cons, the pricing strategy, as well as the exit strategy. So if you want to chat with us, just scan the QR code above. Now let's move on to the 2-bedroom. As you can see, the 2-bedroom take-up rate in Lentor is actually really high. We're only left with Hillock and Lentora that have 2-bedder units. And we're predicting the Lentor Central Residences. It doesn't have any 2-bed 1-bath, but it comes with 2-bed 2-baths, 678 square feet and up. And it's likely to actually start from about 1.55. That's our prediction.
So if you're able to get a unit at around 1.55 as compared to Lentoria, which is 1.68, and Hillock Green, which is 1.74, you do have a bit of buffer there in terms of your growth. All you need to do is sell at the price that
They
your
bought in at.
neighbor in the other development got it at, you still got that very, very good safe buffer for your profitability.
Okay, I noticed they also have a 2-bed plus study, the 797 square feet. That's actually one of the bigger 2 plus studies that I've actually seen, right?
This is huge. So if you compare this with the other 2-bed plus studies in the Lentor Collection, Lentoria's 2-bed plus study is 732. And that in itself was pretty big.
And non-harmonized as well.
And
Yeah.
Hillock Green was 753 to 786. And if you talk about harmonized, it's 710 to 743. So 797 is really the largest.
All usable space.
Let's just take a look at the layout of the 2-bed plus study. So we went to the show flat, and this was for the agent's preview. The 2-bed plus study was gorgeous.
I really love the study. Let me show you what they actually did.
I'm so impressed. This is actually the study space, which is in Lentor Central residences. It's ID treatment, but they've done it so well.
Yeah.
They've done a built-in bed here with another storage option. And this is located between your kitchen and your bathroom. So you do have access here. So if you do have guests, you come in, you have to access the study to go into your common bathroom. But if you're not the kind that hosts very often, then this bathroom here can be accessed through bedroom 2, it's a Jack and Jill, and through the study. So you do have the option to convert this into another bedroom.
Yes, so I think it's very smart because the space, as you can see, right, is actually very big. It's not just a very small hole in the wall kind of study. You can actually put a bed there. It's actually got very good size. Maybe for families, if they have kids and all that, this could be maybe a kid's room where you can put your baby cot.
You see that it also has an air conditioning
provision.
So you get an aircon in your study as well. So it's very, very functional.
And then you can actually close it up to make it a proper bedroom.
One thing to note though is that at 797 square feet, you do have other options in the resale market.
So this is where we want to caution people who are buying this layout. As mentioned, we have actually closed 5 different projects in Lentor itself. So we're actually very familiar with all the different layouts in all the different projects. So my concern for this 2-bed plus study is actually the Lentor Mansion 786 square feet 3-bed. Did you know that at launch, there was actually this 3-bedder that started from 1.7 plus. This was actually launched and fully sold on the first day itself. So it might sound really tiny, 786, but you think about it, all 3 bedrooms are facing one direction, maybe the pool or outwards. You have a very good size open concept kitchen. I used to stay in Commonwealth Towers with a layout like that. It's actually pretty okay. If I have a bar countertop or a glass here, then I cannot really put dining here. So actually the dining was perfect in this area. So I actually quite like this layout actually. So I foresee that this will be a competitor for the 2 plus study when both hit the resale market in future, because at the end of the day, I don't have to enclose it. I don't have to do a lot of effort to create a 3rd bedroom. But for the 2 plus study, I might need more effort to actually make it a 3 bedroom.
So in the resale market, buyers will definitely compare between Lentor Mansion and the 2-bedroom plus study, because like we shared just now, in terms of your search parameters, if you do put in a minimum size, this Lentor Mansion will definitely pop up, and this 2-bed plus study will also pop up. And if you compare based on a size basis, the Lentor Central Residences 797 square feet is bigger. It's slightly bigger than Lentor Mansion's 3-bedroom 786 square feet. However, for Lentor Mansion, you have 3 proper bedrooms and they all come with windows.
Yes, so and it's also harmonized for this project.
These 2 projects both are harmonized, so it's really an apple-to-apple comparison. The main difference is that for the 2 plus study here, you do have a bigger master bedroom and a general wider and bigger living space, and your kitchen, you do have the option to conceal it. There is a sliding door here. However, in the kitchen itself, there are no windows.
Yep. And then for this project for Lentor Central, it's actually full glass window, whereas for Lentor Mansion, it comes up to 3/4, which actually personally to me, I feel is better because I don't want people to see that I'm actually sleeping or put like all sorts of barang on the floor. Whereas if it's full glass window like Lentor Central, then they can see all my stuff, like no privacy, I feel.
Yeah, I actually brought some of my clients to Lentor Mansion and I told them that I personally didn't quite like the fact that the development didn't have full height windows, because Lentor Mansion so far is the only development in the whole Lentor collection that doesn't provide full height windows. So if you look at it from outside and you look at the facade is going to look very different as compared to the other developments within the Lentor collection. But some of my clients said that they actually, like what Denise said, they don't really need that full height glass windows, and it helps them have the requirement to keep their house super neat all the time because people cannot see from the outside.
And like if I'm sleeping, I don't want people to like, look, she's sleeping, that kind of thing. I want to be able to open my windows without worrying about privacy, right? Yeah.
So the difference between Lentor Mansion 3-bedroom and the 2+ study is that for the 2+ study, while it is bigger, if you want to convert the study into a bedroom, you definitely will need to spend on renovation. However, if we're looking at a similar entry price between the Lentor Mansion's 3-bedroom, 786 square feet, and a similar entry price for a 2-bed+ study, potentially you get 3 proper bedrooms for a lower price.
Yeah. So this might be your competitor. So those who are going for this layout, do be aware of other project launches that happened before and their floor plans.
So for the 2+ study, it is at 797 square feet. For the 3-bedroom in Lentor Central itself, it starts from 915 square feet. So the study in the 2+ study itself is like half a room or 3/4 of a room.
Pretty much, yeah.
But for the 3-bedroom, you're actually upgrading from a 2.5 rooms to 3 rooms, but with about 120 square feet of additional space. So if you compare that with Lentor Modern, Lentor Modern's 3-bedroom starts at 969 square feet. If we count it as harmonized, it's around 915. That's comparable to Lentor Central residences. However, in the 969 layout for the 3-bedroom in Lentor Mansion, it comes with a flex room. So that flex room can also be converted into extra storage or study.
Room, yeah.
But for Lentor Central, you don't have that option. So it's something to really watch out for.
Yep.
So within the 3-bedroom itself, you can see that we do have many different options.
Yeah,
First, we have the 3
3-bedroom.
premium. The 3-bedroom will be a 3-bed 2-bath without any yard or storage, except for Lentor Modern, which comes with a flexi. Or if we have a 3-bed premium, which typically comes with a yard or extra household shelter. And then we have 3+ study. And then for Lentor Hills residences, we have a 3-bedroom dual key. So for the buyer profile for the 3-bedroom units, it actually varies, and you have a very wide buyer profile, and it differs between the bedroom types.
So the buyer profile could be like investors, upgraders and all that. So there can be a mix of buyer profiles. But we did spot some layouts that we feel that you should definitely avoid. Now that you've watched so far, we want to reward you guys by sending all this info to you. So if you're interested,
Or just scan the QR codes here to contact us so that you can understand which 3-bedroom layouts to avoid in the whole Lentor collection.
now we move on to the 4-bedroom. So 4-bedroom, as you can see, majority of the people are buying for their own stay. Like my client who bought Lentor Mansion 4-bedroom is really for the school and also to have a bigger space for her family because they want to cater for maybe another child or either that, a helper itself. So they need a much bigger space.
So for the 4-bedrooms, all the developments within the Lentor collection do come with 4-bedroom. The only development that has a 5-bedroom will be Lentor Mansion. So for the size for the 4-bedroom, it will be 1184. And for Lentor Central residences, the 4-bedroom premium will be 1399 square feet. However, the largest 4-bedroom unit type in the whole Lentor collection will be Lentor Modern, which is at 1528.
Wow, that's bigger than 5-bedroom.
And it's even bigger than the 5-bedroom in Lentor Mansion. Lentor Mansion is the only development in the whole Lentor collection that comes with a 5-bedroom unit. So if you're able to get a 5-bedroom unit there, you will be the proud owner of something that is very, very rare and something that many people will be fighting over in the future, especially those who are into multi-generational living in the same household. And they need more space, they have helper, they have other family members staying with them, the 5-bedroom will definitely be something that they will look into. However, if you don't need that many bedrooms, then you can consider a 4-bedroom within this area.
So now within this area itself, right, let's take a look at the biggest 4-bedder. So just now, Jubs actually mentioned about the biggest 4-bedder in Lentor Modern. And furthermore, this is right above the MRT station. I think this would be very attractive for people with multi-gen. Because what happened is that, you know, if they have old folks and all that, it's easier for their old folks to head down to get groceries or necessities and all. Okay, now let's take a look at the floor plan. Price point I noticed is starting from about 3 mil all the way to about 3.4. So once you enter, essentially, right, you have this very good size dry kitchen, and then once you enter here is the wet kitchen and the bomb shelter, and once you step out you actually have a very good size landscape living and dining space. And what I really like is actually the junior master.
Yes.
Once you walk in, your junior master is right over here. So let's say parents, grandparents, they can actually probably be staying this side, a bit more privacy, and then the family members can probably stay on the other side. And even if you look at the master itself, you have a very good size flex room. Like I mentioned, they have a lot of these kinds of flex layouts in Lentor Modern. You can actually convert this to a walk-in wardrobe or even a study, and two very good size bedrooms. So that's why I really like this really huge 1,005 plus square feet layout.
For the largest 4-bedroom type in the Lentor Collection, it will be Lentor Modern, and the entry prices of the buyers were from 3 million all the way to about 3.4 million. So let's take a look at how that compares with Lentor Central Residences 4-bedrooms estimated starting price.
So for Lentor Hills Residences, right, for their bigger 3-bedroom types, it has already transacted around 3 million. And because it's non-harmonized, we did a quick calculation to see what's the PSF when you exclude the aircon ledge. So that comes out to be about 2,003 plus PSF.
So for Lentor Modern as well, if you calculate so that we can do an apple-to-apple comparison, PSF without aircon ledge is around 2,369. For Lentor Hills Residences, it's about 2,352. So we'll use that same PSF to also calculate what is the estimated starting price for the 4-bedrooms in Lentor Central Residences. So if you're able to enter at a price below this, would you think it's safe?
Now let's take a look at it. So based on our calculations, right, for Lentor Central Residences, we expect that the slightly smaller 4-bedder with 3 bath to start from about 2.66 based on 2,250 PSF. And right now in the market, Hillock Green is starting from 2.8. Okay, and Lentoria, which is 1 km to St. Nicholas, is starting from 2.78. So generally, you can see if you can get a unit that's in the 2.6, 2.7-ish range, you are buying it below what is currently in the market for Hillock as well as Lentoria.
So do you think it's safe to enter into a development like that? So for the bigger bedroom type, before we analyze the price, let's take a look at the layout, because this is really the most impressive 4-bedroom layout I've seen in the Lentor Collection. Here's why. So when you come in, first thing on your left is a household shelter. Then when you walk in, you have your landscape living and dining, which is very similar to Lentor Modern. But the main difference between Lentor Modern and Lentor Central Residences is these 3 areas of the house. You have a store, which you can convert into a helper's room.
Yeah, so
you have
helpful.
this additional storage space here, and this area here in the kitchen is glass. So you have very nice natural light coming into the kitchen during the day. And one thing is that for all the bedrooms, they all come with ensuite toilets. So this bedroom 2 and bedroom 3 will be sharing this ensuite toilet.
A Jack and Jill toilet.
Yes,
And then
and-
this other one is like an ensuite.
Yes, this one will be your common toilet for your guests, and will also be an ensuite toilet for bedroom 4. Another thing is that in the master bedroom itself, you do have a small little walk-in closet here, which is great. And this is really, really perfect for multi-gen with children and with a helper, because
Yep.
in many of the layout types in the Lentor Collection, it comes with a household shelter. And if you do have a helper and you don't have any available bedrooms, you will convert that household shelter space into a helper's room. But for this, you don't need to do that. You can have all your storage here, because as a big family, I'm sure that many of you will have many, many things that you need to store in the house, like your luggages, your extra things that you buy from Red Mart in case there's another COVID lockdown, your toilet paper. You'll
Yeah.
store it in your household shelter. And then this store area here can be converted into a helper's room.
So honestly, buying at 3.1 plus, you're still quite safe because the bigger 4-bedroom at Lentor Modern actually transacted about 3.4 already. So if you can get something 3.1, 3.2, I think it's still actually very safe to enter into this project for the bigger 4-bedroom. It's still worth it if you're looking for a layout that caters for multi-gen families.
So basically, if you are able to enter in at a very, very safe entry price as compared to your neighbors in the neighboring developments, it is something for you to consider. However, this really varies. The entry prices for the different layout types within the different developments all differ. So if you're interested to find out more about the entry prices in the different developments, do scan our QR code, contact us, and we'll share more with you.
And now, thanks for listening so far. This is the bonus segment that you guys have all been waiting for. Is it too late to enter into Lentor?
Well, in order to answer that question, let's take a look at how some of the resale developments in the Lentor region or nearby are performing, as well as the existing Lentor collection, what are the transacted prices, and the new launches in the OCR region to be able to answer that question.
Great. Okay, first up, we actually have Panorama. As you can see, the highest PSF that it has actually hit was around 2155. And same even for Thomson 3. These are condos that are probably about 7-8 years old. So when the whole Lentor collection TOP, how old will this condo be?
They will be at least around 10 years old already. So you can see that for Thomson 3, it's already transacting at 2,200, 2,300.
Yeah. Just imagine, in few years' time when it TOP, if a new condo and a resale condo are the same price, same PSF, which one will you go for?
Of course, I'll go for the new one.
Yeah, that will attract the most people.
I wouldn't need to spend on renovation. Everything is brand new. I don't even need to spend on appliances.
1-year warranty,
Yes.
and all that. Okay, so now let's take a look at the recent transactions for other new launches in the Lentor area.
So let's take a look at Lentor Mansion. You can see that the highest transacted PSF already hit 2,400 plus. For Lentor Hills residences, also
Same.
2003 to 2004.
That's right. Hillock Green also 2004 plus. So as you can see, it's quite consistent. I think that whole area is all about 2000, maybe 3-ish or 2004 plus in terms of PSF.
So let's take a look at another development, which is a new launch a few stops away further from the city, Norwood Grand. So you can see for Norwood Grand, it transacted at around 2,200 PSF, and this is for a development which is further away from the city. So we have Lentor, which is nearer to Orchard on the TAL.
Nice stops.
Yes. So how much do you think will be the launch price for Lentor Central residences?
Yeah, we can only guess, and later we'll show you our price matrix.
So from District 19, we have Carpark. Carpark was transacted at around 2,600 PSF.
Yep.
So Denise, you also recently transacted another OCR new launch, which was the Ori located at Toa Payoh. How much did your buyer buy into?
My client bought about 2009 plus, but this is on the 35th floor. So it's actually a high-rise project. So because high-rise, most developers will stack the pricing accordingly. So that's why the PSF has hit that. Okay, so now we take a look at the OCR launch price. We keep talking about that. OCR, basically, it's outside of core region area. So D19, as well as Lentor, it is part of the OCR region. Now think about it. In the OCR region, what's a safe price to actually enter in?
So for the OCR region, which is outside of core central region, the resale transaction prices are going at around 2,100 to 2,300 PSF.
Yep.
And as we shared with you just now, for the new launches, it's around 2,002 to 2,008. And for the recent Ori at Toa Payoh, it went up to around 2,900 plus PSF. So for the upcoming launches in the Lentor region, we are estimating around 2,003 to 2,600 PSF. So my question to you, what do you think is a safe entry price for Lentor Central residences?
Now that you watched till here, we have actually prepared a price matrix for you guys. So if you want some convenience, you can actually screenshot this so you can actually
zoom in, because I know that it's a
in.
little bit small, but if you can't see it, don't worry. Scan the QR code, ask us, and we'll be very happy to send you the price matrix that we've done up for Lentor Central residences.
Yep, so this can give you a guide on how much each unit will be priced at based on sizing and the PSF that is launched. What's the price quantum going to be? Because this is a quantum that next time you buy, you will need to realize that this is something that you have to sell higher to realize profit.
Correct. So if you were to buy something, Denise, at 2,000 PSF today, how much will you likely sell it at in the future?
2004 or 2005.
Right?
Yeah.
Many of the buyers in the Lentor collection have entered into this area at maybe around 2,200 to 2,300 PSF. So if you're able to enter lower than that, can I say that you do have a very good buffer for growth?
Yeah, possibly, definitely. And now we have come to the segment that you guys have all been waiting for. Is there an oversupply in Lentor itself?
So many YouTube videos, so many other people talking about it. 2,000 over units. Is there really an oversupply? Is it going to be very difficult to exit in the future? Before we answer this question, let's take a look at some areas in Singapore which also have a lot of developments in the same place. So in the Flora Drive area, of course, if you're not familiar with the Flora Drive area, this is in Loyang, very far away. It's primarily served by feeder bus.
Yep.
No MRT nearby,
No
right?
MRT nearby and next to Changi Prison, no coffee shop. So essentially, you have to drive out most of the time to get any kind of amenities.
Or take the feeder bus to go and buy your groceries.
Yep.
So we have a total of 15 developments in this area, and they were all launched at different times. So let's take a look at how they performed in the resale market.
So let's take a look at the profit that the later plots actually launch. Because right now, if you're entering Lentor, you're the 6th plot, will you still be able to have capital gains? So let's show you what happens for the last few plots in Flora Drive. The last one that was TOP, Jovel, as you can see, for the 3-bedders, their profit is pretty decent, 300 plus, and a lot of people held for about 3 years. Okay, now the next project in Flora, people held for a longer period of time, 9 years, and look at the profits, all hitting about 500k for even the 3 and 4-bedders. This shows that actually people who stay here, they want to stay here long term. Yeah, probably they are familiar with the area, they like this area, and they don't mind staying for a good 9 years. And also we have Hedges Park, which was the 8th plot, and look at the profit. So it's actually not about the holding period itself. People who stay here sometimes may want to stay longer, but the profits are still very attractive, even for an area that doesn't have MRT or much amenities. So imagine Lentor actually has everything, MRT, mall, good schools, all in the area itself.
So Lentor does take off a lot of the boxes as it's convenient. You have integrated development, a shopping mall which is nearby. Admittedly, it's not the biggest mall, but you will be able to fulfill a lot of your daily necessities and requirements from that mall itself because you do have tuition center, preschool, restaurants.
Yeah, all in the area itself. So you don't have to travel very far to get your needs met.
And the anchor tenants have already been announced, right? CS Fresh will be the main supermarket chain that will be at Lentor Modern.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes,
okay.
and you also got sushi. Sushiro will be there.
Yay. Okay, now let's take a look at another area that I think most people are curious about, Pasir Ris. The area also has a lot of condos.
We have Livia, which was the first plot that was launched. Then the other plots will be Coco Palms, MV Residences, The Pellet, as well as Dines. So let's take a look at how they performed in the resale market. Coco Palms was the 5th plot to achieve TOP, and look at their profit. 900,000, 800,000, 600,000, very, very healthy. 4th plot to reach TOP, Dines. Highest profit, how much? Denise, can you see for me?
1 mil plus at 1.2 mil for the 5-bedder.
And this was for a holding period of 11 years. So you're looking at about 100k in terms of capital gain every year, which is pretty healthy.
Yeah, really healthy. So honestly, you don't have to be in such a rush to actually let go at TOP. You may potentially be able to hold it for longer. The longer you hold, the more profit it might actually get. And in fact, one thing to actually share for most people that don't know, right? CDL actually bought this whole land. So what happens is that the land tenure, right, in fact, for the latest one, Coco Palms, right, it already has a discount. The land was 2008, but by the time TOP, it was already about 10 years old. A lot of people don't actually realize this, that the developer actually bought the land as a whole, but they cut out parcels to sell. But if you notice in the Lentor area, it's all fresh lease that they are selling. So I think that's what the developer is doing, and I think it's quite interesting. I mean, you're on par or newer than every different development.
Correct. So for Lentor Central itself, it will be completed sometime around 2030, which is slightly later than the other developments which were launched previously. So when those other developments achieve TOP, your development will still be under construction. And typically for developments, once they achieve TOP, there will be a surge in terms of their pricing because the unit is ready, people are able to view and they are able to take the keys and move in immediately. So they will tend to pay a premium for it. These other developments will then form the benchmark of the overall Lentor collection. And then with that benchmark, once your development is ready, all you need to do is to write on the benchmark which has already been created there and then sell your place at a profit.
So my client actually, I recently sold the Treasure at Tampines 4-bedder. I mean, he only held for really about 3 years. The profit was about 500,000 just by holding it.
That's pretty decent. So you know, the buyers of Lentor come from District 19, District 20, 25, 26, 27. So this is where they will come from. We have Ang Mo Kio, Bishan, Hougang, Punggol, Sembawang, Sengkang, Serangoon, Woodlands, Yishun. So these are all the HDBs that will achieve MOP in 2022 to 2033. We have a total of about 55,000 HDBs that will achieve MOP during this period, out of which, let's take a look at the private supply in these areas that will achieve TOP.
So total will have about 4,800 that achieve TOP over a couple of years from 2026 all the way to 2029. So for buyers who are worried, can I be able to exit in future? I mean, think about it. There's going to be 50,000 HDBs that will actually MOP.
But not all of them will want to sell and upgrade. But some people are very happy to stay in their HDB and not upgrade, right?
Yeah, but think about it. Just 10% of them is really 5,000 plus. It's really more than the amount of condos in this area itself.
So let's say 5% of them want to upgrade. 5% of these HDB owners choose to upgrade. Is there going to be a chance that all 4,800 owners will want to sell their units in the market?
We don't know, but you can take a look at big projects like Treasure Tampines, 2,200 units. You look at the listings now, there's only 100 plus listings for sale, maybe 200. So that's only 10%.
So within that 100, there's also duplicate listings that are on the listing portals, right? So if we take based on that, if you have about 4,800 units which will hit the resale market available for move-in, 10% of that will be about 480 to 500. Yeah. And you have your HDB upgraders, 5% of them, there's a huge disparity there.
Yeah.
So the question is back to you. Do you think that there's an oversupply in this area? Let us know in the comments below.
Okay, so everyone keeps talking about oversupply. You watch any YouTuber and all that, they'll tell you the same thing. Any agent will also tell you the same thing. But if you look at the numbers carefully, not everyone is going to sell at the same time. And if the government knows that there's going to be an oversupply, why do they keep selling land? Why do they keep releasing the reserve site? And why are they opening up the Tagore area for a new township? Who knows? Lentor will be the first of many along this whole line itself.
So it'll be very interesting if you're able to ride on this first mover advantage wave.
Yes, not just over a 2-3 year period, but this could be a 10-15 year kind of plan.
So what we're trying to say is that even if you were to buy into the Lentor area today, you don't have to be in such a super rush to sell it off, because the likelihood of everyone exiting at the same time is honestly quite remote. And you have very good demand from the upgraders. It doesn't even need to be all of them. Even 5% of them will still supersede the amount of available units in the future. And especially when you see these upgraders, the kind of bedroom types that they will be aiming for is quite specific and quite specialized.
Yeah.
And we'll be happy to discuss further. So we've come to the end of our Lentor Central residences analysis, as well as the analysis of the whole Lentor collection till date. Of course, there are 4 more plots of lands which will be launched. Happy to share more with you. But if you're looking for a unit within the Lentor collection itself, or you want to find out what is your exit strategy based on your unique circumstances, scan the QR code and we'll be very, very happy to take this conversation further with you.
And one more thing,
help us to like and subscribe. We'll see you soon. Bye.